Hi guys, it's Mattias, and today I want to talk about my first experiences with the transition from Battlefield 1 flying to the Battlefield 6 jet flying. And yes, in Battlefield 6 you also have helis, but of course in this video we're talking about the jets. Now, as much as there are some basic fundamentals that are somewhat similar, it is also completely different. Now, once you get your settings in order, and I'll show you that also, performing just basic maneuvers, just flying around, staying alive, isn't all that hard, and shooting down enemy jets and enemy helis, as long as they are beginners, also just trying to figure out the settings and getting a feel for the flying, it isn't all that hard to shoot them down. Now, obviously these planes fly a lot faster than in Battlefield 1, and you have to lead differently, you have to maneuver differently, and there is some aspect of sluggishness in the controls or in the aim that is just very different. It takes a little while to get used to, and once you get the hang of it, if you get the upper hand of your opponent, you'll be able to shoot him down quite quickly, because all the planes have insane fire rate, and if you land your shots, you will take down an enemy plane in less than a second. It's just instant, and well, being at the receiving end of it is also rather painful. Now, one of the things that I had a hard time getting used to is actually air to ground. It's a lot harder to adjust from Battlefield 1, so yeah, I have a couple of kills here and there, and I'm getting the hang of it, or well, I hope I am. But obviously, as I learn more and more, so will of course everyone else playing this game. So I hope you guys will follow my progress as I'm trying to get better at flying, and maybe, just like in Battlefield 1, I'm able to help some of you guys out as much as you guys can help me out with some invaluable tips that I've already received plenty of so far. Now, I did watch a couple of tutorials or a little bit here and there, but the fact of the matter is, unless you're willing to take the time and practice the things that you see, not only in this video, but any other flying guide or tutorial, then none of said tutorials is gonna do you any good. That being said, maybe it's just fun, relaxing, and entertaining to watch somebody fly around and get a few kills here and there, and if that's the case, that I promise I will do my best to provide. Now, one thing that is really important is the free look that you see here. When you're inside the cockpit, you can look basically 90 or maybe 100 degrees slightly backwards, but when you're outside in third-person view, you can look any direction. Now, obviously this is great for identifying targets and threats. However, so now, with this, to me, very strange auto spawn that you have at the beginning of the round, you might want to take a jeep, get into an area where it's likely that you meet enemies, drop some mines maybe, and like in this case, get a little action before the plane spawns. So now, unfortunately, at least in my opinion, DICE have decided to lower the ticket count from 1,000 to 800 in order to make the matches a little shorter. People are saying that this is to please the Call of Duty community that Battlefield is constantly trying to attract, and vice versa, obviously. Anyway, on most maps you have a landing strip like this where you take off from, and this is also where you go to resupply and even get some heals if your plane has taken a lot of damage. This also goes for the helis. Now, if your plane takes a lot of damage, but you're able to survive it, what happens is that you get disabled, and it looks and sounds like this.
There's a lot of them on the... a lot.
So yes, your plane will start spinning a couple of times actually, but if you're able to survive it, you'll be able to regain the control, or most of it anyway, and in this situation you really want to fly back to your landing strip again to regain half of that HP in just one quick go. Yeah, I'll actually show you a little better example of that later on in the video. Now keep in mind, this is a modern battlefield, and with a modern battlefield you have lock-ons. and that is a lot of them. Now, considering how fast your jet is flying, you can actually calculate for how long you can wait until you have to flare. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you fly really low, if possible, after you have released your flares. That way, nobody can lock onto you again, because under, I think it is 50 meters, you're actually what's considered under the radar, and no lock-ons can lock onto you then, and that is a good way to just regain your flares again. Also, big shout out to Nakebok for my roadkill challenge. This doesn't really count, but even so, that roadkill actually gave me the equivalent of roughly $10, even though the real challenge was to do it with a soldier that's on the ground, and it cannot be a kamikaze roadkill. I have to survive it. Now, I actually just recently had my first one, and that is on my main channel. Link is in the description. So now, one of many questions that I've been getting while streaming is, why have I not changed the chase camera roll to having the ground always down, just like I have had been flying in Battlefield 1 over the last somewhat 9 years. Now, the fact of the matter is, I didn't always do this in Battlefield 1 either, and now I'm not really sure where I'm going to go with this, but for now I'm going to stick to the default settings, and we'll see how this goes. Maybe I'll change my mind, and if I do, you'll see it the moment I go live. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about the settings here, and I'm just gonna wing this, pun intended, and obviously we're going to go through this multiple times in the future, but yeah, starting with vertical look or vertical settings. Some people have vertical flight on. I don't even remember what is default nowadays, but the basics of your settings is very similar to what most of us, or at least what I've had in Battlefield 1. So when it comes to, see, the most important flight setting, I would say, is this pitch up. I have space for pitch up. The first time I set this, I thought I did something wrong, but the game literally didn't react to it, and I think by default it's pitched down or something. It was the opposite anyway, and it's kind of weird how it just didn't respond the first time I said it. I had to unbind it and rebind it again. If that happens to you, then you know, just do it a couple of times again, and hopefully at some point with some resets or whatever, it will be fixed. Now, aside from that, basically everything else is default until you scroll down all the way down to, well, okay, one more thing that I want to point out. The free look is more important in this game than in Battlefield 1. Far more important. And in my case, you see, I have free look on the mouse 3 on the mouse wheel. The problem with that is that when I use my first finger, yeah, my pointer finger, I don't even know, my fourth finger, yeah, this finger, whatever. The problem with that is that I can't fire at the same time, and this is a problem because when you fly with a specific type of jet, you can actually use the free look and you can lock on to targets even though you're flying in a completely different direction. You can shoot out tanks, and you can even shoot down helis if they're painted. And because of that, you need to have your fire finger or fire button finger free. So for me, I have to get used to free look with V, or if I find another key. It's actually really weird. And of course I could also use another finger, which leaves my first finger, my fire button finger, free, but this is actually a big deal. It's made it really complicated, it's, you know, because you're doing it on the fly, right? You don't have time to think about it when you're flying, so it's all about your muscle memory, right? You have to build up new muscle memory for this. This was actually a lot more complicated than I thought. Now, flight mode Z, This might be very important. I haven't really gotten around to all these crazy maneuvers that I have seen some other pilots do, or well, I've been playing around with it, but as much as I've seen people do it even in game, I've never seen anyone benefit from it. As a matter of fact, I've shot down several pilots that have been doing some fancy moves, and you know, kudos for trying, but it's one thing to do it, it's another thing to actually benefit from it. So yeah, fire button, mouse, you know, left mouse button, and zoom, the right mouse button. Switch weapon, do with F, and yeah, scroll. However, this is where I don't remember the default here, but this was a big problem to me, because it doesn't really tell you what these things do. Activate equipment slot 1 or equipment slot 2. Equipment slot 1 is the countermeasures, the flares, because that's why I have set it to mouse 4, because I like to flare with the mouse, with the thumb on the mouse. And then slot 3 or equipment slot 2, that's the bombs. And why they name it like this, I don't know, but it makes it really just it just makes this process a lot longer. But anyway, this activate equipment slot 1, that's your countermeasures. And if there's only one countermeasure, or if we're gonna get upgrades later on, I don't know, but these are the countermeasures, the flares, and this is dropping the bombs, the air to ground bombs, which that's actually one of the trickier things. That it's one of the biggest adjustments that you have to make. You have to relearn the air to ground completely as a Battlefield 1 pilot. Whether or not this is complicated if you've been playing 2042, I don't know. Maybe it's very similar, but for a Battlefield 1 pilot, this is very, very different. So these are the most important settings that I can think of right now. So I'll start off with this lock-on that I was talking about right away. That very rocket that you saw me shooting there, locking on like that to a tank, you might as well be flying away from the tank or looking at it from a 90-degree angle, just passing by it. You can look onto it by just looking at it with your free look and fire. However, you still have to click that fire button, and that's what I was talking about with using the V key for the free look. Now today I try doing this quite often actually, but at the time of recording this, ahead of this video, I actually didn't know it that well. So looking like this, for example, if you have the other weapon selected and you're able to point your aim directly at a tank, you can look onto it as if you were looking onto it like this. Now, after each strafe like this, whenever you use any air-to-ground weapon, you want to go and resupply. However, this can present an unexpected issue. Now the trick is I need to get a roadkill with it. Oh no! That wasn't me. So I know there are mixed feelings about me playing Battlefield 6 now and not streaming Battlefield 1. I don't know if I'm going to go back to Battlefield 1 and stream it. I'm assuming, based on my spontaneous feelings about Battlefield as a whole, that I will revisit Battlefield 1 even if Battlefield 6 becomes my permanent game from now on. Now, I gotta say that Battlefield 6 has a lot of issues. There's a lot of frustration, and as much as there's a lot of bugs, there's also a lot of problems that isn't really bugs, but just what I would say kind of bad features, and I'll talk more about that in some upcoming videos. It seems to me that some of the, maybe I should say, glorification of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, it's a little bit misplaced, where if you raise those two games on too high pedestals, then you're going to neglect the problems that was in those games and why Battlefield 1 sold more than Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 combined. maybe Battlefield 1 actually sold more than Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 6 combined. I don't really know that, and of course Battlefield 6 is very new now. So far, I'm not gonna lie, I am enjoying this game, and I am streaming it quite a lot, and because it's new and I'm learning new stuff and you know, unlocking weapons and all that stuff, I'm streaming a lot more than when I was streaming Battlefield 1. So that's just a natural thing with gaming. It's new, it's fresh, and just the fact that it is new makes a big difference. So now the big topic for discussions in the Battlefield 6 community is of course these lock-ons. What? Why am I painted now? Hello! Alright, so in this clip I also want to show you this that I mentioned earlier. When you get damaged, when you get disabled, you start spinning uncontrollable for a couple of rounds, and then you regain control or parts of your control, and you're going to take that opportunity to try to repair again. This is my best example so far of how you can get out of an otherwise really dicey situation. Check this out. Yes, I know that the health bar is almost hidden there by the donation goal, but you can actually see I am below 1 bar of health, and here I regain about half of that and I'm back in the fight. So I hope this video has been helpful. I hope you have enjoyed it, hope it was entertaining, and there will be a lot more coming in the near future, both on this channel and of course on my main channel, where I'm streaming live for hours every day or night, whatever my sleeping schedule allows me to do. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. So at the end of this video, I'm going to show you a couple of successful bombing runs. Yes, I did start getting the hang of it a couple of days ago, and hopefully you'll see a lot more of this in the near future as well. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channels, yes, plural. The link is in the description to the other ones if you haven't already. Oh, that was so satisfying!
Contact! Hostile troops sighted!
Oh, nice move. Nice move.